Hey, so we're going to talk about a new kind of money today, one that's totally different from the cash you've got in your wallet. And don't worry, we're going to break down what makes it so special in a way that's super easy to get. Let's dive right in. First things first, have you ever really stopped to think about this? What makes a dollar, well, a dollar? I mean, it's really just a piece of paper or, some numbers on a screen. But you can trade it for real stuff, like a coffee. So what's the secret? What gives it value? Well, that question leads us straight to the main idea here. It all boils down to one simple but incredibly powerful concept: trust. See, the money we use every day isn't backed by something physical like gold anymore. Its value really just comes from the fact that we all collectively trust the government that issues it. It's worth something simply because we all agree it's worth something. Okay, but here's the thing. This system built on trust can have a pretty significant problem. It has to do with how much money is out there in the world, and it's something you've definitely noticed every time you go shopping. You've probably heard your parents or grandparents talk about it, right? How a movie ticket used to cost a quarter or something crazy like that. Today, that just sounds impossible. So what happened? Why does it feel like our money just doesn't go as far as it used to? The reason for that is a little thing called inflation. You can think of it like a silent thief that slowly makes everything more expensive, meaning every dollar you have buys a little bit less than it did before. So how does this happen? Well, think of it like a recipe. First, a government decides to create or, print more money. Suddenly, there are way more dollars floating around, chasing the exact same amount of stuff to buy. And because there's more money, each individual dollar loses a tiny bit of its power. And when that happens, well, sellers have to charge more dollars for the same things. Prices go up. Now, this whole problem of money slowly losing its value is exactly what got some very smart people thinking, what if we could build a whole new kind of money, something designed from the ground up to be completely different? Just imagine that for a second. What if there was a kind of money where the total amount that could ever exist was set in stone? It couldn't be changed by any government, any bank, anyone. It would be totally predictable, finite. And that idea is what led to Bitcoin. It's a type of digital money created with two huge rules baked into its code. Rule number one, no single person, government, or bank is in charge. And rule number two, it has a very strict, limited, and fixed supply. And that second rule is a big one. The total number of Bitcoin that will ever exist is capped right at 21 million. That's it. That number is hard-coded right into its DNA. Unlike government money, you can't just fire up the printers and make more. This brings us to what is maybe the most important question in all of this. It's the biggest difference between these two kinds of money. Who is actually in control? I mean, we know who pulls the strings with dollars or euros or yen. It's a central bank, a government. They get to decide the rules. So if there's no government in charge of Bitcoin, then who is? And the answer is kind of a riddle, but it's the key to the whole thing. No one single person is in charge, but at the same time, everyone who uses it is. Probably the best way to picture it is like a giant, shared, public notebook. This notebook is copied and stored on thousands of computers all over the world. Anytime someone makes a transaction, it gets announced to this whole network of computers. They all work together to check it and make sure it's legit before adding it as a new, permanent entry in that shared notebook. Nobody can cheat the system because everyone is watching. That's what decentralized means. So let's just put it all side by side, because this is the core of it. With government money, you've got a central authority in charge, and they can create an unlimited amount. With Bitcoin, the network of users is in charge, and the amount is fixed. That's it. That's the fundamental difference. Okay, so we've got these two kinds of money, but why does any of this actually matter to you? It might seem a bit out there, but these differences have some pretty big real-world consequences. So let's wrap this up. What are the big things to remember? The value of government money can go down over time because of inflation. Bitcoin was specifically designed to resist that because its supply is limited. But the biggest difference of all is control. One is centralized, controlled by a single group. The other is decentralized, where no single person or group is in charge. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought to chew on. What would it mean if your money, your savings, couldn't have its value slowly chipped away by more being printed? That's the radical idea behind decentralized money. And honestly, it's a conversation that is just getting started. Thanks for tuning in.